Yeah, man.
Loved it.
Is that how you go for a rogue bass bend? Oh! Is that what
I'm just being strangled by my mic. Gosh, so professional. Hi.
Hello.
Fantastic. What are we doing today, D?
Today, Chris, we are talking about basses and baritones.
B. B's and B's.
You have an 8-string baritone.
Thank you.
Tim has a 6-string baritone.
Sure do.
And I've got a smashing bass.
Nice.
It's very nice. Very playable.
I got to tell you, I haven't played many of these. I haven't played this model for ages, but like, just when you play it, like, just playing an A, it just sounds that much different. Like, there's so much going on in it. Like, well, it's not an A. What is it? An E?
It's an E.
Yeah.
Yeah, technically.
But like, there's like, you know, so it's got octaves, which almost sounds like an octave pedal.
Yeah.
But just on the G and the D string.
Yeah. Just G, D, and everything else is straight, but super interesting. I was thinking like people who do a lot of percussive playing and pulling and like that type of stuff could probably get bass lines, nice clean bass lines going with it, single strings.
Yes.
And then bring in the octaves for a bit of.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Yeah. But it's not easy. Those are with the 8-string baritones. I find them easier to strum. I think they're more usable when you strum because that's a cool sound. So if you're looking for something that like sounds different, wants to inspire you or something, you know, like you sometimes get caught up with your own guitar playing, don't you? And you play the same things.
No.
Well, I do. I sometimes think, I'm just playing the same thing again. But like everyone, well, I thought everyone does, but obviously not. And Dale plays harmonics, I'll play some licks, you know.
I play the same thing all the time.
So I play one of those, and I sat and played one for 15 minutes or something.
But you gig with baritones, right?
I have gigged with this one before, yeah.
In what, like,
in lots of different contexts. So I've done an acoustic duo where I was playing baritone acoustic and the other person was playing normal acoustic. I've done baritone gigs on the electric guitar.
Yeah.
As well.
Why? So the rest of the band's in standard tuning.
And you're
4.
Well, I tune my baritone normally a perfect fifth down from standard. So these are the Alvarez ones to tune.
Opposed to an imperfect fifth.
So it would be a perfect fourth. Yeah, tune a diminished fifth down. No, so it's like these are tuned B to B, and there's no kind of standard for baritone tuning. Some are tuned A to A, or B to B, just whatever you prefer. I've generally tuned it A to A in the past, and it just means
that's very low, isn't it?
Very low, but are the strings not super slack?
No, they're not tight. They're not like it's not. It doesn't feel like you're playing. You know, if you want to, it feels like you've got 10s on an acoustic guitar or 9s on an electric or something. But.
Yeah. So the 6th string on a baritone, or the 8th string in this case, is like it's almost like the 1st string on a bass, right?
Yeah, the gauge is something similar, isn't it?
Like 50 something, or is it?
Is it 70 or something?
Yeah.
70. Sorry,
yeah.
Sorry, 70.
So
no, so it's not. No, it's not like a G on the bass, like a D on the bass, right?
Is it?
Yeah.
But they are incredibly usable. You're all about, when you're playing live, especially the more people you've got, you want to provide the layers, or when you're recording in the studio, you want to provide layers. And these are great.
But like when you're with a band, right, you're playing baritone, so you sometimes play electric or acoustic. I mean, you're in that realm, more in the realm of the bass player, right? But so you got to think about, I mean, you're probably playing different stuff anyway, but in the spectrum, you're filling those frequencies more than you would be with a 6-string, normal 6-string.
Yeah.
So does that make would you hang around more on a certain part of the fretboard? Would you?
You know, I would generally stay away from kind of, not always, but going, you know, past maybe it's the 12th fret. You don't want to be going up the octave, because otherwise you might as well just be on your normal electric
That's a good
guitar
point.
or your normal acoustic guitar, right?
Yeah.
So you're kind of down here. You all of a sudden your triad groupings that you might use, like your chord voices.
Triad what? Sorry.
Triad groupings. So you just
groupings, yes. They said groupings.
No, your triad groups. Just your collections of like notes that you use.
Yeah.
Or all of a sudden they're filling a new space. So you're like if you're playing, as we said, like so if someone's playing E but you hit like an E like this. If you play an E on the bass, give us an E on that. You know, and then if you went up to chord 4, there. So I want to go.
Oh,
up
sorry.
to A,
Oh, sorry.
yeah,
Oh,
so chord, and then chord 5 and chord 4. You're gonna get. You've got some new space. You've got some new inspirational ways to play. It gets you out of being stuck. That's my main thing for baritones. You're gonna find.
But does that not? Does that not take a lot of practice? Like, I mean, because you often turn up at gigs, plug in and play, right?
Sometimes less. It depends. Like, I'm not going to turn up with a baritone and on a gig
not
where
know where you're going.
Yeah. So with the electric guitar, I can do the whole plug in and play thing, or the acoustic guitar. I don't know why I'm saying that. With this just standard 6-string guitar, plug in and play, right? With the baritone, you're not going to do that. You're going to think about it beforehand. The same thing with like the lap steel. You know, you have to think about these things slightly beforehand. But you're adding more depth to the music. It's all about like layers and sprinkling things. But the baritone, the main thing for me is when I pick it up, it makes me play differently. We've talked about this before, haven't we? We've talked about it. You play differently when you play something different. So you can play your standard guitar shapes that you know. It sounds different, and then you're gonna think about things differently. You might write a different song, play a different melody. That's what
I get that.
That's what the main thing for these are for me. I think.
I think that's very true. So I think we've said this before. So baritone is kind of right in the middle between a dread scale length and a bass. For us anyway, everybody has different sort of bass scale lengths. Millimeters, we're at like 812 for a bass, 648 for a dreadnought. Baritones right in the middle at 704-ish. And so therefore, scale length wise, you know, the longer the scale, the deeper the note. There's lots of tension, but, you know, and especially with thick strings. So we do make baritone bodies more sturdy and basses. So we keep with FS2 bracing, which is stronger. But you play them with normal chords, same scales, they just sound lower. And it, as Tim said, just makes you do different things, look for different sounds and styles in the guitar. But with a bass, imagine going out, like if we were doing a gig now and you got like, I said we were singing with all this. Would we miss like a standard 6-string?
Probably. Because it's what you're used to as well. So if you think about like, you know, there's a lot of like heavy metal music, modern heavy metal music, where the guitars are tuned this low.
Yeah.
Standard 6-string guitars are 7 or 8 strings, but you're kind of sounding out like this pitch, and you don't miss it there. So it is what you're used to. But we probably would, because we're used to hearing the kind of standard 6-string sound. But I think a lovely balance would be if you played that, and I was playing a 6-string. Then you've got a real
nice
spectrum of sound going on. But when we're all playing the baritones as well, it does sound cool. You don't miss it. You don't think, oh, I wish I was hearing 6-string acoustic standard. It's just, we're just all kind of enjoying a different style of guitar, which is what it is, really, isn't it?
It really fills out. It's really resonant, you know.
And again, you can tune them where you want, right? I think that's a good point, actually.
Yeah.
And you could even tune it at standard pitch.
You don't need some thin strings, but you
Yeah,
could. Yeah,
you'd have to. Well, normal strings would do, right?
I don't know that answer to that question,
I think so.
actually.
Yeah. So
because of the scale length.
Yeah, so I've never done that, but I guess it's just going to be a bit lower.
But it sounds pretty cool in an open tuning.
That would sound cool.
That would sound cool.
Super
But
full.
that sounds great in an open G or something.
Yeah.
The only thing you've got to watch there is your kind of low harmonies. Like, so if you've got your thirds really close to each other in the bass, like, that should sound fine, right? That's that.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, the human ear in the lower register doesn't hear low
you mean.
intervals clearly.
So just to, so the reason we have 8-string baritones, having the 2 octaves also brings a little shimmer, obviously, and a little bit more top end to a baritone, so you're getting more.
So so it's like a 12-string. So these are octave strings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a 12-string without the work. That's what I think about these 8 strings. It's like 12 strings.
But that would sound darker without them.
Yes. What it would sound?
It would sound like that.
Yeah. But it makes a massive difference. Those.
God, it's a big difference.
But it depends on what you prefer, doesn't it? Because I love these baritones for the sake of what they are. So I don't necessarily, I like that sound, but when I play them, I want them to sound like this.
You want
I want that
low
kind
down.
of like,
Yeah.
and then, but it does sound great because it
I can't believe how much they resonate. I mean, the strings are super thick, but it's like
This is a Sitka top.
Sitka top, laminated mahogany backs and sides, but it just sounds so much body.
Just goes on, doesn't it? You know?
well, it's the same with this. You see it's got like stronger bracing, which would
Yeah,
normally mean that the top
Helps
doesn't
sustain.
vibrate as much or whatever, but sounds great.
that drives it well. It's of course we spent hundreds of hours getting that balance right. I was actually really lucky. FST2 just suited these big body guitars really nice.
Nice.
But bass, I remember on an Alvarez video, I don't know why somebody asked this, but they said, how come you're playing an acoustic bass at that volume?
Yeah.
And, you know, plugged in, it is like if you take your hands off the strings,
Yeah.
you do get a fair bit of resonance and
Yeah.
feedback quick, don't you?
You do.
But generally, you know, if your hands are on the strings you're playing, that's fine, right?
it's only you take your hands off, really have an issue. Yeah.
That's almost the same with anything though. I was doing a show the other night and my FYM70, my Airi, was feeding back because the volume of the show was huge and
Yeah.
no matter what, if you don't
It's
put,
just that,
you can stop it from happening.
Yeah.
I played it,
Yeah.
played the show, but if you've got monitors on stage and stuff, you're going to get feedback with acoustic instruments.
Well, we do the Alvarez, and I stick the bass through that SVT head.
yeah.
Sounds great.
You just control it, don't you?
You just
learn
control.
to
You just
control it with your
don't
hands.
stand next to it.
As a bass player, what do you do differently? Well, what does an acoustic bass encourage you to do differently?
Well, the first thing that you notice going from an electric bass to an acoustic bass is the size of it and the action.
Yeah.
You know, so you got a big body. Everything just feels like it's gone up.
It's like it's jumbo. It's a jumbo, long jumbo guitar.
It almost it's not quite the same, but you know how when you pick up a baritone from a dread or something, you can really feel that jump. It feels that way to me too. So it changes the way that you play a little bit. You know, just playing it with a pick, you know, you can do that, but it makes you kind of.
But as an acoustic instrument,
Yeah.
it's loud, right? There's plenty of volume there.
Big
With
box.
acoustic, but would it make you play different? Like what we said about baritones, you kind of just naturally approach the guitar differently.
It's like a resonance thing too, isn't it? So you can really feel it, kind of everything's kind of moving. It does, yeah. It makes you kind of want to.
Kind of draws you in.
Yeah.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, it's cool.
It does sound nice.
Yeah, it's. I really personally love playing these. You know. And of course,
and what is this?
Well, this is the cheeky little number, isn't it?
So D has his own bass.
Yes, I demanded it.
Because when we were making Alvarez, I said, oh, my arms hurt when I'm standing. It's my arm, you see.
It was painful, man.
So we
I'm
made
standing
him a
up there.
bass with an armrest. This will be coming out at some stage, but makes a big difference, right? On a body.
So I won't be the only person in the world that has one of these.
Currently,
So,
you are the only person in the world.
currently,
Currently,
well, I think we have to have a chat.
but I mean,
That is a beautiful thing.
we make and sell so many armrest guitars. My personal preferences, I like traditional looking instruments, like a dreadnought. I don't like an armrest, but I do know what you mean. I can't remember which song we spent
Oh, it
a
was
day
English
rehearsing,
Rose,
and then
we were standing.
short video. We were standing playing, your arm coming over this edge.
Well, I had this kind of like numbness
Yeah,
in my arm.
and we had to call the ambulance. And,
We
and
did.
had to denumb,
We did.
denumb your forearm, and then we thought that's it. Got to get you.
That was it. That was the catalyst.
armrest.
Custom bass, yeah.
It was the catalyst.
But it does work. That's
And of course, and as an apology for
apology for
put
numbing your arm.
You put my initials in the 12th fret.
Yeah, he's got his own in the way.
Very
I know, we spoil him.
But I'm worth it.
He makes good coffee.
But No, I think from the moment, because originally I got one of these when we first started doing Alvarez.
Yeah.
And I played it for like days and days. I just picked it up. In fact, I've recorded with it.
Yeah.
It has a different kind of sound, you know. I obviously record with the Alvarez doing it.
Sometimes it sounds jazzy, right?
Yeah, it's just, yeah. And it has that woolliness, that resonance sometimes. And other times it sounds really open. And you get that, you know, lovely kind of, you know, sharpness about it. I dig them. I do.
So we do several baritones. We only do one bass at the moment, but there's more coming. But you know, if you get the chance to try one, do. And I think most people find them to be pretty fun, right?
Yeah, perfect remedy for if you're getting sick of your own playing, which everyone
If you
does
need
this
an
thing.
excuse to buy another.
If you need an excuse to buy a guitar and you're getting sick of your own playing, then, and everyone does, man. It's like totally true, because you end up feeling like you're just playing the same things, and the baritone is like the perfect remedy to that. Play differently, feel inspired, and they're not. You can't use them all the time, but when you can use them, they're great.
And what we found
that
today
texture,
is
that layer, those layers. If you're putting something together, you mentioned this before about the idea of it sort of sits right in the middle.
Yeah.
And you've got a nice acoustic sound, maybe put in a bass, and it's just something to fill that gap. Beautiful resonance, thickness, glue.
Yeah,
you know,
glue. Yeah,
sounds great. Yeah.
the Hammond organ of the acoustic
The
world.
acoustic world, yeah.
Yeah. And as we found out, they're much better if you wear navy when you when you play baritone, right?
Well,
Only navy.
I'm putting this in my rider from now on.
My assistant must wear navy.
Yeah.
Yes.
There is
somebody
a
bring
huge
me a
amount of
coffee?
navy here.
There's a lot of navy.
You're completely
Not navy.
navy.
I'm completely navy.
almost
I've even got navy
completely.
shoes.
Yeah. Got navy shoes?
Well,
Were you in the
I was
navy?
doing a little, I'll do a little hornpipe with these, couldn't I?
In the navy.
You can sail the 7 seas.
You need to bring out like a blue denim signature
Navy.
baritone,
Now you're
navy,
talking.
like
Navy,
denim.
navy baritone.
Navy
The
baritone.
Dowley navy baritone.
Well, we can do navy, but not double denim though.
I don't see what
I
the
did a
problem is
double
with it.
denim.
Did you?
I
Yeah.
do double denim all the time.
I do double denim.
My
yeah,
daughter
I just
said,
that.
Dad, double denim.
I know.
I said, sorry, mate.
It was good enough for Francis Rossi in 1973.
Who's he?
Status quo.
Never heard of him.
Come on.
Anyway, basses and baritones. Baritones just like fills the gap and, well, fills lots of gaps by the sounds of things. Basses, great fun.
Yeah.
And especially if you're doing the acoustic duo thing, or even like you said, 3 people on acoustics, baritone, bass and
You're
normal
literally
six
filling the harmonic
Be lovely.
spectrum there. It's lush.
string. And always remember to wear navy.
Absolutely.
See you later.
Bye.